Music, right?
Yeah, he has to stop it, otherwise how are you gonna talk? There you go.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias, todos. My name is Gary Deeth. We are coming to you today from the beautiful island of Barbados. Today is the 162nd session of Hunda K for our region. I want to greetings to all leaders, all blessed families, and our brothers and sisters who are joining us for the first time, and those who come every day. Thank you and welcome. Very happy to start this new day. Blessing and grace as region. And now I'd like to begin with our opening statement. Today on the 9th day, on the 10th month of the heavenly calendar in the 9th year of Chanuguk, which is November 13th, 2021. On the daily morning reading, Hunda K, session 162, we offer our devotion for a hopeful church. And now if you join me with a bow before Heavenly Father and two parents. Chanjien Chambunim K Kembe. Baro. Now if you can join me in our family pledge, number 2. Our family, the owner of Chanuguk, pledges to represent and become central to heaven and earth by attending the heavenly parent and two parents. We pledge to perfect the dutiful family way of filial sons and daughters in our family, patriots in our nation, saints in the world, and divine sons and daughters in heaven and on earth by centering on true love. Okay, now for our representative prayer, I'd like to invite up Mrs. Moscow Phillips.
Good morning. Please join me in prayer. Our most beloved Heavenly Parent, good morning. Thank you for this new day. We greet you from bottom of our hearts. Thank you for sending us true parents, parents of heaven and earth and mankind. We deeply appreciate how our true Father lived his entire life, serving Yahweh and saving all of us and loving mankind totally. Thank you for our true mother. She is leading us, guiding us day and night to realize kingdom on the earth substantially. We are so grateful for true mother's dedication, determination, and so much love to you and to all of us. Heavenly Parent, we want to open our hearts and mind to listen your word, to listen Father's autobiography. And we want to ask you humbly that you may come to our hearts, mind, and you may come to our family and our nation and our region. Thank you for all our leaders and brothers and sisters. Every day their sincerity and hard work. And as we live today, we want to go together with you, whatever we do. Please guide each and everyone. I report all these things in my name, Reverend Peter Phillips, Masako Phillips, Blessed Central Family. Adieu.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Phillips. Now for the reading of our Two Fathers autobiography, I'd like to welcome up Mrs. Gelby.
I'm Gail Reed, Gary's wife, and I'm so happy and so honored to read with you this morning. Let's read together. A knife not sharpened grows dull. After completing grammar school, I moved to Seoul and lived alone in the Hook-Sok-Dong neighborhood while attending the Kyongsong Institute of Commerce and Industry. The winter in Seoul was extremely cold. It was normal for the temperature to fall to minus 20 degrees Celsius, and when it did, the Han River would freeze over. The house where I lived was on a ridge, and there was no running water. We drew our water from a well that was so deep it took more than 10 arm lengths of rope for the pail to reach the water below. The rope kept breaking, so I made a chain and attached it to the pail. Each time I brought water up, though my hands would freeze to the chain, and I could only keep them warm by blowing on them. To fight the cold, I used my knitting talents. I made a sweater, thick socks, a cap, and gloves. The hat was so stylish that when I wore it around town, people, they would think that I was a woman. I never heated my room, even on the coldest winter days, mainly because I did not have the money to do so. I also felt that having a roof over my head when I slept meant that I was living in luxury compared to homeless people forced to find ways to keep themselves warm on the streets. One day it was so cold, I slept while holding a light bulb against my body under the quilt, like a hot water bottle. During the night, I burned myself on the hot bulb, causing some skin to peel. Even now, when someone mentions Seoul, the first thing that comes to mind is how cold it was back then. My meals consisted of a bowl of rice and never more than one side dish, whereas average Korean meals include up to 12 side dishes. It was always one meal, one dish. One side dish was enough. Even today, because of the habit I formed while living alone, I don't need many side dishes at my meals. I prefer to have just one side dish that is prepared well. When I see a meal that has been prepared with many side dishes, it only seems troublesome to me. I never ate lunch while attending school in Seoul. I became accustomed to eating just 2 meals a day while roaming around the hills as a child. I continued this lifestyle until I was nearly 30. My time in Seoul gave me a good understanding of how much work goes into managing a household. I returned to Hook-Sok-Dong in the 1980s and was surprised to find the house where I once lived still standing. The room where I lived and the courtyard where I used to hang my laundry were still there. I was sad to see, though, that the well where I had to blow my hands while pulling up pails of water was gone. During my time in Hook Sok Dong, I adopted for myself the motto, before seeking to dominate the universe, first, perfect your ability to dominate yourself. This means that to have the strength to save the nation and save the world, I first had to train my own body. I trained myself through prayer and meditation, and through sports and exercise programs. As a result, I would not be swayed by hunger or any other emotion or desire of the physical body. Even when I ate a meal, I would say, rice, I want you to become the fertilizer for the work that I am preparing myself to do. I learned boxing, soccer, and self-defense techniques. Because of this, although I have gained some weight since I was young, I still have the flexibility of a young person. Gyeongsang Institute of Commerce and Industry had a policy that the students would take turns cleaning their own classrooms. In my class, I decided to clean the classroom every day by myself. I did not do this as some kind of punishment. It was an expression of my desire that welled up naturally from within to love the school more than anyone else. In the beginning, others would try to help, but they could see that I did not appreciate this and preferred to do it alone. Eventually, my classmates decided, go ahead, do it by yourself. And so the cleaning became my job. I was an unusually quiet student. Unlike my classmates, I did not engage in idle chatter, and I would often go an entire day without speaking a word. This may have been the reason that although I never engaged in physical violence, my classmates treated me with respect and were careful how they acted in my presence. If I went to the toilet and there was a line of students waiting their turn, they would immediately let me go first. If someone had a problem, I was frequently the one they sought out for advice. I was very persistent in asking questions during class, and there were more than a few teachers who were stumped by my questions. For example, when we were learning a new formula in mathematics or physics class, I would ask, who made this formula? Please explain it to us step by step so that I can understand it exactly, and refused to back down until I got clear answers. I was relentless with my teachers, digging deeper and deeper. I could not accept any principle in the world until I had taken it apart and figured it out for myself. I found myself wishing I had been the person to first discover such a beautiful formula. The stubborn character that had made me cry all night as a little boy was making its appearance in my studies as well. Just as when I prayed, I poured myself completely into my studies and invested my full sincerity and dedication. Any task we do requires sincerity and dedication, and not just for a day or two. It needs to be a continuous process. A knife used once and never sharpened turns dull. The same is true with sincerity and dedication. We need to continue our efforts on a daily basis with the thought that we are sharpening our blade daily. Whatever the task, if we continue the effort in this way, we eventually reach a mystical state. If you pick up a paintbrush and focus your sincerity and dedication on your hand and say to yourself, a great artist will come and help me, and concentrate your mind, you can create a wonderful painting that will inspire the world. I dedicated myself to learning how to speak faster and more accurately than anyone else. I would go into a small ante room where no one could hear me and practice tongue twisters out loud. I practiced pouring out what I wanted to say very quickly. Eventually, I was able to say 10 words in the time that it took others to say just one. Even now, though I am old, I can speak very quickly. Some say that I speak so quickly that they have difficulty understanding me. But my heart is in such a hurry that I cannot bear to speak slowly. My mind is full of things I want to say. How can I slow down? In that sense, I'm very much like my grandfather, who enjoyed talking with people. Grandfather could go 3 or 4 hours talking to people in our home's guest room, explaining to them his views on the events of the day. I am the same way. When I am with people and there's a good communication of heart, I completely lose track of time, and I don't know if night is falling or if the sun is rising. The words in my heart form an unstoppable flow. When I am like this, I don't want to eat. I just want to talk. It's difficult for the people who are listening, and beads of sweat begin to appear on their foreheads. Sweat is running down my face too as I continue talking, and they dare not ask to excuse themselves and leave. We often end up staying up all night together.
Thank you, Gail, for that nice reading. I'm always amazed by Paul's words. It's so deep and so insightful to his heart. So we can really learn from his way of thinking and apply it in our lives. So now I'd like to welcome up our presenter today, Reverend Peter Phillips from Barbados. I'm grateful to have him come and speak to us today. So let's open our hearts. Welcome him with a warm round of applause. Phillips, the floor is yours.
Tlalpan.
¿Cómo que de la sede? Tlalpan.
Ajá.
Esa es de la sede.
No sé qué era la de Estados Unidos. ¿Ahora qué?
Ya acabó. Ya acabó.
Reverend Phillips seems to be having some problem with his computer. Should be back in a moment.
Yes, sorry. I want to take this opportunity to thank our true parents and the heavenly parents for this opportunity to host the 100 here in Barbados. We have our brothers and sisters around the region who can participate. I want to thank our dear brother Gary V for his wonderful opening remarks at MC. My lovely wife Masako for her outstanding and interested in beautiful prayer, and for our sister Gail for her beautiful and lovely reading. I would like to also greet our brothers and sisters around the region, national leaders, all blessed members, and all our families. In this case, I would like that you will join me as I share my screen with you. I've entitled this small testimony, My Walk with Heavenly Parents and True Parents from 1977. When I first joined the organization, the building to our bottom left is where the headquarters used to be. And when I came, there was a Japanese missionary as well as the German missionary. And the picture to the top, you'll find some dignitaries, doctors, lawyers, and the young members who were associated with the church. And as time progressed, you would have seen that on my right, the German missionary and some of the members took upon themselves to encircle the island with a wall. The objective was to claim Barbados for God. Years passed, and we have seen that the missionaries, the first set of missionaries had to leave Barbados. And with that, they're anointed the young brother on my right at age 23 to be the central figure of the island of Barbados.
Reverend Phillips, can you please click the slideshow? So you make a big slideshow from the beginning, then that way it'll be a full screen. Yeah, on the top there it says slideshow.
Slideshow.
Yeah, right. There's a home, insert, design, animation, slideshow on the top, very top.
Oh, yeah.
Top menu.
The fifth.
Yeah,
Yes.
slideshow.
Correct.
Click that. And then you should be able to click from the beginning.
Okay, just continue then.
Yeah.
If you can't do it.
Yeah, if it's not working, just go ahead and continue.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, I guess.
Okay, sorry about that. So over the years, you would have seen a progress of people coming and going in the Church of Barbados. Unfortunately for us, we were never a big church. We have had many associate members, good friends and family who would come and support us at any event that we have had. And so then our then central figure, missionary Mr. Carl and Tanya Redmond, when they came in 1983, we realized then that, as two fathers said, that we should learn to speak the Korean language. And so on evenings, Tanya would have set about teaching us how to speak the Korean language. Fortunately for us, or unfortunately for us, they had to leave the country, and so that our Korean went down the drain. However, the side on my left is where my spiritual parents, Randall Hoyt and Lorraine Boudram. And this is a center that we have had from 1978. In 1996, we had the first set of Japanese coming to Barbados on December the 3rd, 1996. And interested enough, I remember clearly the first three missionaries, first three Japanese sisters to arrive was the one who was speaking English. So she stayed at the center where I was living. And before I went to work the evening, I would have prepared dinner. The young sister, The young sister ate some of the food. So when I came home the evening, I was told, you are a good cook. Barbadians say that the way to a person's heart is through their belly. And I believe that because of that meal, that very sister now has become my lovely wife. Nonetheless, we were able to host the sister ceremony in 1997. There were over people that turned up at that event. My work took me to Guyana. There I joined the Trinidadians, Barbadians, Suriname for their workshop under the leadership of Mrs. Barbara Van Pryk, who was the original director.
Can everyone please mute yourselves except for Reverend Peter? Thank you. There's a lot of background noise, so if everyone could please mute themselves out. Thank you.
Okay, you want information on this one?
Reverend Phillips, sure, okay, but I just feel there's a lot of other noise coming from someone. Yeah, traffic or whatever, I'm not sure what it is. So sounds a little better now, so please begin. Thank you.
Okay, in 1992, I was taken to Miami to work with the Caribbean Community Center under the guidance of our brother, Mr. Nishijima. And there I would have met brothers and sisters from Dominican Republic, Suriname, Guyana, Jamaica, and Colombia, as well of America and sister who originated from Panama. And that occasion gave me the opportunity to fundraise and to be the driver for all the members. I covered Miami, Orlando, to the point that I was arrested and deported. I went back to Miami 10 days later to continue my mission. But as fate would have it, I was arrested again and in prison. I spent 2 weeks in lockup. But I wasn't scared. I knew that God was with me. I remember I almost fought one of the guards. But before I left the night, he was my best friend. So before I was sent to Barbados then, he said to me to contact the place I was staying so that my clothes could come with me, that when I arrive in Barbados, it would look as though that I just returned from a trip. It didn't look as though I was deported. However, back in Barbados then, my mission continued, and I worked diligently with all that I could find. The picture on the right bottom, I'm in the presence of the Japanese missionaries and the Minister of State at the Prime Minister's office. This picture was taken after I had given the opening remarks at the NIFTA, the Culture Foundation service. Again, in 1999, I was privileged to have met our president, should I say coordinator, Eliezer, a young man full of spirit and guile, because we had then a meeting of the Caribbean and South America in Costa Rica. My mission also took me to Trinidad and Tobago, where I worked with many Japanese sisters there, and in Dominica with the brother who was the national messiah to that country. We were accompanied by Mr. Dennis Salmon from Jamaica and Scott Quinn, who was the national messiah to Barbados. In 2005, when the two parents were coming to Barbados, Under the guidance of Sir Lloyd Sandiford, the former Prime Minister, the Barbados National Peace Council, UPF, was organized. And every Saturday afternoon leading up to the event, Sir Lloyd and his team would have sat and prepared and planned for our father's coming. So to our bottom, this is the team of executive officers of the Barbados National Peace Council. My work again took me back to Guyana in 2000, where I took a brother to receive the blessing. And at the bottom, I gave the opening remarks at the coronation ceremony of God's kingship at the Church of the Glorious Christ. In 2005, when our two parents came to Barbados, for us, it was very outstanding, very amazing. So Lloyd Sandiford and his wife, Lady Sandiford, presented a gift to our two parents. And on my right, the morning after after the event, my wife and I were given the opportunity to present flowers to our two parents. At the bottom, the pictures where members gathered together to take pictures with the two parents. After the event, our Korean national leader, National Messiah, Reverend Lee, and his wife show us the signing of what our two fathers would have done. And to my right, all the national messiahs celebrated the hard work of members in preparing for our two parents. In 2006, Barbados was one of the islands or one of the countries of the region to have presented the crown to our two parents. And on our right, I was privileged with the former ambassador to America from Barbados to be the ones chosen to present those crowns to our two parents. In the picture above, leaders and members from the region, Dina Salmon and Sister Kia Bacchus Brown from Trinidad, from Jamaica and St. Vincent and Grenadines respectively. And on my right, our dear brother, Ronald McGarrell from Guyana. At the bottom right, the first ever, let us say, regional leaders meeting was hosted in Barbados under the guidance of Reverend Kim, who was stationed in Brazil. On my left, we would have invited many members or many people to one of our church services. And unfortunately, despite we had many people coming to our church, a lot of people did not stay in our church. But we are friends, and anything we have, they would associate with us. And if we need anything, they would also give us these things. I was privileged to be invited to Japan after the blessing by the Japanese National Messiah and the missionaries. And we were presented with gifts for our hard work in Barbados. This is our headquarters on our left. And this is a session after Sunday service with a fruit priest and our Korean National Messiah. My journey took me to St. Vincent, where I was able to participate and give lectures on conflict resolution, on true family values and divine principle. This was hosted by the Sister Kay Bacchus and Don Huran. And our brother, what's his name again? Now, he came from overseas, and he also was part and parcel of that event. On my right, I was sent to Poland to attend a husband's workshop, and that was outstanding as well. On my left, we had a picnic, and I was given some advice and guidance about events and situations of Barbados to the Japanese members. The last time I spoke about a miracle, but this is the miracle of my life. In the Bible, it says that some men are made eunuchs for the kingdom, and others made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom. After I was unable to be blessed in 1982 through to 1995, I gave up and dedicated my life solely to do the will of God. But the miracle in my life came in 1996, after this lovely sister would have eaten my meal and subsequently became my wife. So we were blessed in 1999, and our civil marriage was done in Trinidad and Tobago. While in Korea, we met our dear brother, Dr. Zimu Kim, who was quite elated to meet us. And so then, brothers and sisters, this is the walk of the walk in my life from 1977 until now. Thank you very much. God bless you. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend Phillips. Interesting to see all the happenings in Barbados, the journey we've had. And as you said, unfortunately, many of the people who have come didn't stay. That's kind of unfortunately our experience many places, but those who have come are really proven to be God's warriors. So thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. So now let us join together in unison prayer. And I'd like to welcome all those who are coming here for the first time. Thank you for coming. Please share this with your friends and neighbors, invite them to come as well. So let's have a unison prayer.
Heavenly parents, we're joining together such a miracle for our being to meet.
All right, thank you, everyone. So thanks to our holy community and of course Barbados, and especially to our interpreter, Mr. Brian Solano. Thank you very much. So we want to pray for the success and blessings of all your missions, and I want to thank you to all of our leaders and blessed families, to all of your brothers and sisters of the Hanu Pumanem Holy Community. Okmanse, Okmanse.
Ómanse. Queridos hermanos y hermanas, muchísimas gracias. Qué bueno que podemos encontrarnos una vez más y poder vernos. Gracias, reverendo Philip, mi amigo. Lo conozco hace mucho tiempo. Muchísimas gracias. a nuestra sagrada comunidad de Barbados, le deseamos lo mejor y también le enviamos a todos nuestros hermanos y hermanas nuestro saludo de Saranhamnida, Barbados. Muchas gracias a ustedes, lo hicieron muy bien hoy. Y a todos ustedes, gracias por unirse a esta, nuestra sesión de Jundoque matutino, nuestra condición de devoción. Vamos a iniciar haciendo ejercicios, aplaudiendo para tener buena salud. ¿Cómo están ustedes primero?
Estamos bien, gracias a Dios.
Bien, bien.
¿Quieren hacer
Positivo.
ejercicios? ¿Quieren hacer ejercicios?
Claro, claro. Vamos a hacer ejercicio.
Thank you very much.
Sí. Ejercicio, sí.
Ok, vamos a hacer ejercicios.
Ahora.
Someone.
Leonida Velero
박수입니다. 주먹 박수입니다. 주먹끼리 박수 쳐주세요. 만성 두통이나 어깨 부위 통증을 예방하는 박수입니다. 봉오리 박수입니다. 손 뒤꿈치끼리 박수 쳐주세요. 방광을 자극하는 효과가 있어 생식 기능을 좋게 하는 박수입니다. 손등 박수입니다. 손등을 반대 손바닥으로 박수 쳐주세요. 요통이 있거나 척추 측만에 효과가 있는 박수입니다. 손가락 박수입니다. 손가락 끝으로 박수 쳐주세요. 손가락 끝에 얼굴 혈이 모여 있어 만성 비염이나 눈이 자주 피로해지는 사람에게 효과 있는 박수입니다. 먹보 박수입니다. 주먹과 보자기를 번갈아 가며 박수 쳐주세요. 손바닥에 심장, 폐와 관련된 혈이 있어 심폐 기능을 좋게 하는 박수입니다. 손바닥 박수입니다. 손바닥끼리 박수 쳐주세요. 손바닥의 마찰, 진동을 통해 모든 경혈이 자극을 받고 혈액순환을 도우며 장 기능을 좋게 하고 갑상선, 당뇨, 합병증에 효과가 있는 박수입니다. 달걀 박수입니다. 손바닥을 오므려 박수 쳐주세요. 중풍과 치매 예방에 도움이 되는 박수입니다. 목 뒤 박수입니다. 목 뒤에서 손을 모아 박수 쳐주세요. 이상 건강박수였습니다.
Ok, nos ponemos de pie. Vamos a mover nuestro cuerpo. Todos pónganse de pie. Vamos a mover nuestra circulación, nuestra energía que estaba acumulada después de dormir y vamos a hacer más ejercicio.
Vamos.
Ok, gracias.
힘없으면 무시하고 백 있으면 사랑받고 잠새마저 시간을 허수아비 같은 세상 머리에서 발끝까지 사랑으로 밀어 널 위해서 나나선 사랑으로 밀어 사랑으로 마음의 때를 밀어 구석구석 질 때까지 내가 당신 밀어줄게요 밀어 사랑으로 가슴에 먹는 때를 당신 가슴에 먹는 때까지 사랑으로 밀어줄게요 사랑으로 밀어줄게요 힘없으면 무시하고 백 있으면 사랑받고 잠새마저 시간을 허수아비 같은 세상 머리에서 발끝까지 사랑으로 밀어 널 위해서 나나서 사랑으로 밀어 사랑으로 마음의 때를 밀어 구석구석 질 때까지 내가 다시 밀어줄게요 밀어 사랑으로 가슴에 먹는 때를 당신 가슴에 먹는 때까지 사랑으로 밀어줄게요 사랑으로 마음의 때를 밀어 구석구석 질 때까지 내가 다시 밀어줄게요 밀어 사랑으로 가슴에 먹는 때를 당신 가슴에 먹는 때까지 사랑으로 밀어줄게요
Un aplauso para todos. Realmente lo hicieron muy bien. Wow. Por favor, inviten a los niños al fondo que matutino. Ok. Que tengan un buen día.
Buen día para todos. Hasta
Muchas
mañana.
gracias.
Thank you.
Buenos días.
Gracias, buenos días. Gracias.
My husband won't dance.
Buenos días, mi compadre.
I can't make him dance.
Buenos días.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our sister.
Buenos días, buenos días.
Thank you.
Monse.
Buenos días.
Adiós.
Honduras.
Buenos días, familia, buenos días.
Bye.
Now the
Oh, Reverendo Hall.
God bless you. Reverend Lee, Kim, Dr. Yang, thank you so much.
Buenos días.
Hola, papi.
Buenos días. Buenos días, familia. Buenos días, hermanos.
Let's do the heart, Gary. Let's do the heart.
Hola, good morning.
Hola. Felicidades, Panamá, por su gane del partido.
Bonjour, ça va bien?
Saludos. Bonito día.
Seven. Good to see you, my brother.
Thank you, Brian.
Señora Yoko, good morning. Hello, Cherry.
Sorry.
Carol.
Good morning.
Evelyn. Good to see you, better.
Cheryl, you're on stage.
Where is it?
Blessings, blessings, everyone.
Oh, thank you for joining us today.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
You are the special guest today. Please join us every day. Every morning. Thank you.
Monday you can go, no?
No, it's the middle of the day.
Monday, no? No, Saturday.
Good to see you, my brother.
Gracias.
Yes, thank you.
Blessing for Barbados.
You're looking younger.
Thank you.
Hello, dear Patricia. How are you? We love you.
Yes, I like her. 36.
To the heart, Gary.
This one.
Thank you, my friend. Judith.
Thanks, everyone.
Well,
We'll get you more of it.
Bye.
Good job, Reverend Phillips.
Thank you so much.
Very good, Pastor Phillips.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
thank you, Gary.
Thank you so much, Gail and Gary. Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you, buddy.
Hello, my brother from Nicaragua. My
Hey,
friend
George, Ed Oliveira.
George.
That's his, my brother.
He's so cute. Nicaragua. Aww.
Yeah. Daniel, ¿cómo está?
Porque Bonnie.
Buenos días al gato.
It is Fish. Its name is Fish. Our new member.
Wow, Bernie! What's that he saying here?
He said Monse. She said Monse. He likes the music.
What's his name?
Bonnie, a girl.
Connie?
Bonnie.
Bonnie, a girl?
Bonnie.
Thank you, sister. Cheryl and Patricia. We love you.
Adiós.
Hasta mañana.
Hasta mañana. Gracias.
Iba se ve, Gracias. Adiós,
In